Do you drink iced coffee or cold brew coffee? Do you make it at home, or do you buy the already bottled of cold brew, or do you go to a coffee shop and buy cold brew? Hello family, welcome back. If you're new here, welcome. I am Vicki and you're with Gravy in the Kitchen. I am very frugal. I don't know how else to put it nicely. But I do not buy coffee outside the house unless the husband and I are traveling a long distance and we stop at a convenience store. I'll get a coffee. But other than that, I do not buy coffee outside the house. I brew my own coffee in the coffee pot. I have a mocha pot that I make my own espresso. And during the summer, I enjoy a glass of iced cold brew coffee, and I'm gonna make it at home. And I want to show you how easy it is to make cold brew in your house, so you'll never have to spend money on cold brew again, except to buy the coffee. That's all you have to do is buy coffee. So I'll just take a quart size regular mouth jar, and I put 4 tablespoons of coffee right in the jar. Now if you want it weaker, use 3. If you want it stronger, use 5. And then I just add some Berkey water or filtered water to the top. I put an old canning lid on here. I reuse canning lids for storage lids. Then I'm gonna give it a good shake. Make sure all of those grounds are in the water. And I just put this in the refrigerator for a minimum of 2 days. That being said, I always have one in the refrigerator. So I'm getting ready to filter this. Now this is gonna go in there for 2 days. So when I'm getting ready to filter one that has been in the refrigerator for 2 days, that's when I make another one to put in the refrigerator. Once I've filtered this coffee, this will give me a quart of cold brew coffee. That is the perfect amount to give me 2 iced coffees. So that's why it sits in the refrigerator for 2 days while we're drinking on this one. So I always put it in a wide mouth canning jar. Now my coffee pot uses these cone filters. That's what I use to filter my cold brew. And I just put it in there, fold it over, and then I have these plastic clips, and I just put that on the side just to secure that filter. And I just slowly pour the coffee in the filter and let it filter the grounds separated from the coffee. This takes a few minutes. Sometimes I'll walk away and go do something else, but that's okay. Now while we're working on that, I'm going to go ahead and sweeten some milk for creamer. I'm not going to cook it. I'm not going to do anything. So I have some milk. I'm going to put about 1½ cups of milk. And I did shake it to make sure it gets some of that heavy cream. And I like to sweeten mine with maple syrup. So I'm going to put 1/8 of a cup or 2 tablespoons of maple syrup. Now I get my maple syrup from Azure Standard, and it comes in the gallon-sized jugs. They do have them in smaller, but I get it by the gallon. And when it's starting to get really low, I'll just put them in mason jars and keep them in the refrigerator. Real maple syrup has to be stored in the refrigerator. It will mold. Ask me how I know. because it happened to me. So I have 1 quart in the refrigerator that I haven't touched yet, plus I have a half a quart here. So very soon we'll be getting some more maple syrup because I drink a lot of iced coffee during the summer. And we're constantly keeping an eye on our coffee as we let it strain. And just a little bit of vanilla, maybe a half a teaspoon. I'm gonna give that a good shake. And that's it for sweetened milk to go in our cold brew. And I'll bring you right back when we get all of this coffee filtered, and then we're going to enjoy some cold brew iced coffee. Now this is the part you want to be careful with because you don't want to get coffee grounds in your cold brew. I know. I hate a mess, as always. I'm going to put some ice in my glass. I'm going to fill it about 3/4 of the way with the cold brew. And the rest with our milk. Look at that, family. And I have made like flavorings like caramel. We made a cinnamon dolce. We made a chocolate syrup, and we put it in coffee or espresso or even cold brew coffee. But this is just simple cold brew iced coffee. I will leave a link in the description below on how to find that video where we made the caramel sauce, the chocolate sauce, and the cinnamon dolce. Family, it was good, so good. But this is just simple cold brew iced coffee. And it's perfect. It's perfectly sweetened, just enough vanilla, just enough kick in the afternoon to get us through the rest of the day. So if you are the person that buys cold brew coffee, stop it. Stop it now. Save the money and make it yourself. Yes, it takes some planning. You got to have one in the refrigerator while it's seeping. Then you have to strain it to have coffee. If you're the person that likes milk in your cold brew, you have to sweeten and flavor your milk. Yes, it takes time. I have this saying, you can spend the money to save time, or you can spend the time to save money. Does that make sense to you? Because it makes perfectly sense to me. I can buy cold brew in the jar in the refrigerator section of the grocery store. I can go to a coffee shop and buy cold brew iced coffee. And that's going to save me time, but it's going to cost me money. Doing it myself takes time, but I'm going to save money. And the more money I can save is the less time I have to work outside the home. So I'm not going to work outside of my home to afford frivolous things like cold brew coffee in a coffee shop. I'm going to make it myself and save the money. Don't forget to check the video on how to make your own flavor syrups that you can add to your hot coffee, your espresso, make your own lattes and all the good things. Or you can add it to your cold brew in your iced coffee. So if you buy cold brew, give this a shot. Check it out. We don't have any fillers or stabilizers in our milk. We don't have any unnecessary flavoring in our coffee. These are real ingredients. Coffee grounds and water. Milk, maple syrup, and vanilla. You can make chocolate syrup. You can make caramel syrup. The cinnamon dolce was so good. But this is just simple. And that's how I like it. If you don't mind, give this video a thumbs up. While you're at it, please subscribe. I would love to have you part of the Grammy family. This is a kitchen. We take things we like to eat out there and bring it into our kitchen and make it healthy. Cold brew coffee. Until next time, y'all have a blessed day. Bye, family. I don't like your view. You have to sweeten and flavor your